evening. Good evening. My name is Caroline Wagot. I am the co-founder of Women in Mobile. And this is my great pleasure to welcome you tonight to the first edition of Women in Mobile. I think that I've been attending the Mobile World Congress for the past 7 years. I'm a mobile geek, so to me this is clearly one of the most exciting weeks of the year, and we are very happy this year to contribute to this special week by bringing together this event, Women in Mobile. Our goal is to increase the visibility of all the amazing mobile women who are shaping the future of mobile and leading great app successes. So please let me first welcome and thank all our sponsors. Please, first I would like to thank my amazing co-founder, Vanessa. She's the one who got the idea of this event. Thank you for your passion. Many thanks to all the mobile girls who have been participating in organizing this event. You can see them on the screen. Girls, it's been so much fun to work with you. Thank you for your passion and your dedication. Thank you to our sponsor. Schibsted Classified Media is our gold sponsor. Schibsted in Spain is the owner of leading marketplaces such as InfoJobs, Fotocasa, Segunda Mano, Coaches, and it is a company I know quite well, as when I'm not organizing Women in Mobile, it is the company I work for as mobile strategist at InfoJobs. To me, Schibsted is a great place to work, and getting their support tonight, it's a proof of it. So thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. Thank you to the Ajuntament de Barcelona, the City Council of Barcelona. It is really great to live and work in a city where you can see that public institutions are supporting this kind of independent initiatives. Thank you to La Roca Village, to Lint, to Juve Camps, and to LF Channel, our PR agency. Thank you for making this event a mediatic success. Thank you to all our media partners, Ipadisate, GadWomen, Picasso, TEDx, Barcelona Women, Girls in Web from Paris, Women in Congress, and Heroes Mobile Fringe. Without further introduction, please let me introduce you to the first speaker of this evening. She is from Austria. She is the co-founder of Shpock. Shpock is a marketplace of beautiful things in your neighborhood. In less than 2 years and a half, they managed to get more than 7 million downloads, which is quite of an app success story already. She is probably one of the brightest app innovators that we are lucky to have in Europe. Please welcome Katharina Kloosberger.
Thank you. So hi, before I start about telling you a bit about me and what we are doing, I have to say I'm really impressed about all the girls we are here in the room. When I remember back when I've been on tech events, on TechCrunch and other things, it was, I don't know, 5 girls and the rest just guys. So this is really great to see that so many people are interested in this topic and really want to move something there and want to get involved in it. What about us? We started around 2 years ago, Shpock. Shpock stands for Shop in Your Pocket, and it's a mobile flea market app. Let's say the next generation marketplace for selling and buying goods. When we started with this idea, there was nothing out there. The only thing was the traditional portals that you might know that are mainly list-based. So it took you ages, for example, to list something yourself, and on the other hand, it wasn't fun to find things in your area. So you had lists, you can search, that was nice, but it's not the experience we were demanding as using smartphones. And we thought in a small team, we thought, okay, we can this make better. Why does it need to take 10 minutes to get a product onto eBay? We can do this in 30 seconds. You can see it on the third screen, or maybe not. It's just you use your smartphone, you make a picture, put in a title, description and price, and your product is out there. On the other hand, it was the area where, for example, Pinterest started to be popular also here in Europe. And those things enabled a totally new way on how you can find things, how you can discover. So it's more like strolling through your neighborhood and do window shopping. So when you open Spock, you first see the items that your neighbors listed, and the more you scroll down, the further away the items are. Of course, it's not really your direct location due to privacy issues, but it's offset by random means. Yeah, and so that's how we started. And we thought, okay, we like the idea, really, all of us in the team. Let's try it out. Let's see if some other people also appreciate it and are looking for an easier way to buy and sell things. And yeah, 2 years later, we are a community of over 8 million users, and they are listing and trading goods worth over $1 billion. So from the first month with the first 10,000 users, we managed to have a lively community that really appreciates what we are doing and sees it as a new way or kind of a new lifestyle how we can evolve with second-hand products. For today, I thought it might be most interesting if I can tell you a little bit about if you're trying to start with an app, what I would recommend is important to focus on. So what are the things or maybe some mistakes we could have avoided in the past, and to help that not others are doing this. So I made a small list of kind of 10 steps that I would consider when doing this again. And the first thing is always, and that's I think one of the most difficult, is just to get an idea. For us, we had the idea because we were annoyed of the existing systems, and we thought it's time to have something that works better, that works easier, and we were asking ourselves, why don't we use the other systems that much anymore? So the idea was more problem-based, but on the other hand, there might be some trends out there where you think, okay, this could be a good thing to catch on, and we could make something better there. When coming up with an idea, there are two different things. You can either solve, or how say, you can solve a common problem in a better way, or you can create a new desire. On the second part, you first have to educate the users. You have to tell them, okay, you really need this. You haven't had the need before, but now I have such a cool solution, you need this. So it's, I think, 10 times harder to get them and to convince them that this is a great product. On the other hand, if you're solving something that is already out there in a better way, so you can make sure, okay, users already have the demand. Like, for example, with MyTaxi, you say, okay, they already have the demand for getting a cab, and it makes their life easier. And the same is with us. So we have an idea, and let's say ideally it's solving another problem better. Then we have to know, okay, who is our audience? Who do we really want to target? And there I would recommend to picture it. Say, okay, how does the core user look like? What does she or he like to do? So really to get into the mind of your users. Maybe it's you, maybe you are the core user, or maybe it's someone else. And then try to develop and design the app based on that. When you have a design, say, okay, is it something that attracts my community or not? On the other hand, for designing features, I would really recommend going lean. That's something in the former project of ours we did a little bit different. So I think we had a concept of 100 pages saying, okay, how should every little detail look and every function work and so on. And then we developed for, I don't know, I think it was 8 months. It was a web portal. And then to find out, okay, our users are using out of the 20 functions we thought that might be necessary, they're just using 3, but on the other hand, they're missing 3 others. And then it's hard you first have a long development time, and it's hard to adapt then, okay, and what do you change? And with Spock, we made it totally different. So we thought, okay, what is really the core functionality, what people would need to make it very useful. So you need to be able to list your item very fast via the app. On the other hand, you need to scroll through them. You need to scroll through them and to be able to communicate inside the app, so don't use any other functionalities. And we started with this, no category, nothing else. So that's the main part. When you are going into coding, then there are 2 options, and I'm still getting asked, okay, from young developers, what should we do? We don't have the experience in programming an iOS app or an Android app. We'd like to use a web app, so some framework where we can develop for and then apply to all the platforms. At least for us, we tested this very thoroughly 2 years ago. It didn't work out from the performance, and from all the apps I've heard so far that had a quite good traction and are growing quite well, they're all native due to this performance problem. So this might save some time afterwards. Yeah, and then when you're out, try to talk to some journalists, tell them about what you're planning to do, and see if they like your idea. If they like it, they might write about your launch and will help you to get the first customers that can help you to get other ones. And they will, if they use your app, they will tell you what they like or what they don't like via your feedback, via the app stores or other means. So you can always, when you further develop the app, you can always adapt it to their needs. That are a short list of what I would recommend, what worked for us very well. And if you have any questions, I'm here the whole evening. Have a nice event and a lot of fun.
She is the VP of Global Communications of SwiftKey. I probably don't have to introduce SwiftKey. I believe that most of you, or many of you, have it installed already. It is a keyboard that learns from each user. Last year in 2014, SwiftKey have been recognized as one of the best apps by the Google Play, as well as by the Apple App Store. She is the brain behind this successful communication strategy. Please welcome Ruth Barnett.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm sure my team back in London would not necessarily agree on the soul brains behind our communications, but that's what I'm here to talk about tonight. So I've got 6 things on my list for app success. So I just sat through Katarina's thinking of all the others that I'd missed off. So I'm glad that you are here to fill that in for me. So I wanted to tell a bit about SwiftKey's story, but I wanted to do it through the prism of launches, because that in my side of the business is that's the fun bit. That's the bit where we actually get to put something out there, and that's the bit that me and my team have the most say over. So less of a focus on the development for me, but more about how to get it out there. And I'm also coming from a perspective of startup, and by that I mean that I'm assuming that you're going to want to do this with no money, with a small team, and trying to make the biggest possible impact. And that's been SwiftKey's journey. Now we're a bigger company, we're 160 people, but we still come into every launch with the same approach of how do we do this for free, how do we make the biggest bang possible, and how do we get up the app charts as quickly as we can. So the 6 things that I'm going to talk very quickly about, if I can press this clicker, are the product, the app store, your relationships, the media. That's CJ Craig from West Wing. I don't know how famous she is outside me and my friends, but that's my idol. The social conversations you can have, and most importantly of all, your team. So first, who is SwiftKey? Well, I was thrilled by the introduction. I don't know if it is, how many people have got SwiftKey on their phone? Not very much. Oh. Well, if there's Wi-Fi here, then there's no excuse. It's free on Android and iPhone. So SwiftKey, we come from the perspective that the next generation of technology won't just be smart, but it will provide a more human experience. And by that we mean that we think technology should adapt to you as an individual, and that is an inversion of kind of the status quo, which is that you have to start thinking like your device. How do I phrase this question? How do I make it understand what I want to do? We think you should just do it, and it should understand. So we make the next word prediction typing apps on Android and iPhone. So it uses artificial intelligence to learn from you, and then it predicts your next word. And it also means you shouldn't have any of those embarrassing damn you autocorrect moments that can be so mortifying. So our heritage really is Android. We used to be a paid app, and then we went free last year. So before we went free, we were the #1 in 58 countries as a paid app. We were the Google Play's top seller. And then we went free last year and we launched a store. And actually, since I've done this slide deck presentation, we've had 21 million themes downloaded from our store. And themes are how you can kind of customize it. Last year, we managed to launch on iOS, a big deal for anyone who knows about keyboards in the mobile world, because for a long time we weren't allowed to sell, third-party keyboards couldn't sell on iPhone and iPad, but we were launched last year, and we went to #1 in the UK, in the US, and many other territories in the free charts, and we got 1 million downloads in 24 hours. So I'm going to talk through a little bit of the strategy that we used to do that last year. Oh, no, I'm not. First, I'm going to tell you about the numbers. So we save you keystrokes, and we calculated that we've saved so many keystrokes for our users that would give them enough time to watch Friends 90 million times. The whole of Friends, not just one episode, if you added all of our users and all of the keystrokes saved together. So this launch strategy, well, first and foremost, it's all about the product. And that sounds like a really obvious point, but it's astonishingly easily forgotten when you're in the craziness of trying to launch, and when you're from the marketing perspective. Actually, it's got to start with the engineering and with the product itself. And for us, it's about understanding what that problem is that we solve. And for us, we solve the frustration of typing on touchscreens. It's as simple as that. And even though we've added many more features, now we're in 80 languages, it's about solving that one problem. And so my first question to you, if you're launching something, would be, what problem do you solve? And do you know, have you identified it? Have you agreed on that? Because everything should pin from that, and being confident that you do that in a better or different way to all of the competitors out there on the market. The next thing really is about your App Store presence or your collateral, and trying to use it come from a user's perspective. So if your product strategy is about solving a problem and thinking on the user's behalf, so should then the way that you tell that story. And so I like collateral that puts yourself in the user's shoes and actually talks about real world scenarios, preferably scenarios actually faced by customers and users of yours. But also this point is really a plea to use all of the options available to you when you go and sell on the App Store. It's your shop front. That is where you're going to drive people to, and you have to make them convert. So one of the big things for us on the App Store has been video. We found that really successful because SwiftKey is the kind of thing you have to see it to really get it. And we find that once people do that, they kind of understand this next word prediction thing. And often when I look at people's App Store presence, they haven't made the full use of everything available to them. So from their imagery and really thinking about that and investing in the kind of design and the aesthetics and what message and story you want to tell through those pieces of design. The third point for me is all about relationships, and I think that's a really big part of communications, naturally. So I don't know how famous Stephen Fry is outside the UK, but he's a writer and a broadcaster and an actor, and also now sort of a technologist who makes recommendations to people about what they should like. And he tweeted about an app launch that we did, and that moment alone sent 8 times the website traffic to our site. And that was already elevated by all of the media that we'd been able to generate ourselves. So don't underestimate the benefits of finding powerful friends. So Stephen Fry was someone who just wrote about our product. We spotted that, and we managed to turn that into a relationship. Now, obviously, not every person that tweets or comments about your product is going to be someone that brings a network like that, but a lot of them might. And so taking the time to invest in those relationships can really pay dividends. And we managed to have Stephen Fry come and record a voiceover for our SwiftKey for iPhone product last year. He did it in an hour in a hotel room in California for free, and helped us get millions of views for that launch video. So those relationships can pay off. But there's a second side to the relationships, which is about the App Store team themselves. So no one knows what sells best on their platform than the people who run the app stores at Google and Apple and others. So try and listen to those people and engage with those people, because they know their platform, and also they have within their control the opportunity to feature your product and on your launch day help give it that velocity up the app charts that you really want to make an impact. So don't overlook the value of your relationships. The next point is media, which is kind of my home turf. So I used to be a journalist, and now I'm sort of poacher turned gamekeeper. I'm the one that's endlessly flooding journalists' inbox. So sorry if any of you are here. So my view with the media is that people can get a little bit timid because they're a bit scared. And our view is to let them demo it as early as possible, the product. And that can be nerve-wracking, because when you're pre-release, that's when it's most buggy. And that can feel like a really terrifying proposition. But the best asset of all from me, in my view, with journalists, is that they are free feedback before you launch. And that is a really, really valuable thing. They are going to tell you, if you build the right relationships, everything that's wrong with your product before launch. And that gives you a window of opportunity to fix those problems, or at least acknowledge them. And that will actually ready you for the market in a way that not much else can. Social media is a much talked about thing, and there are going to be greater experts about it than I am here. I think our main lesson here is that you can focus a lot on the broadcast and how you make that announcement, and then you kind of switch off and do something else, which we think is a kind of missed opportunity from turning that into a real conversation and listening to your users. And it's not necessarily the case that all of your user base is kind of equally represented on social media, but it will represent a subset of the people who are out there using your product. And so the more you can learn from that feedback, the better your product will be. And the more that you can turn it into a conversation and make it extremely easy for people to go out and advocate for you by giving them shareable things, by answering their questions, by doing that all in a public forum, we found is also just much, much cheaper than doing a lot of one-to-one customer support, because the more visible it is and the more you can empower them to go and advocate for you in forums and in languages that we don't speak and spaces that we're not operating, you're kind of getting a free army. And so SwiftKey has a kind of what we call our VIP community, more than 120,000 beta testers who are active members of our forums, and they are out there on all of those social media platforms in the time zones and things that we can't be. And I think that comes through listening as well as just broadcasting. And very lastly, the main thing of all for me is team, and making sure that everyone knows what their role is on launch day. Because if you're a small team, you haven't got the luxury of having people like double up. You haven't got the luxury of wasting time with being inefficient. So this is actually 6 o'clock in the morning, and this is a real live launch situation, and the people on the screen are in San Francisco. Oh, I didn't know it animated. Cool. So this is all the people that we have around the table when we press go. We have my colleague who's in charge of the App Store, so she's actually pressing the buttons with that. But we also have the tech leads who built the product. We have our customer support, community support people there. We have me and my team there. We have the sysadmins for IT to make sure that all the servers don't go down, which can be a great compliment because it means people are coming to investigate what you do, but it also means you're losing business. And I think part of that is also not just about the practicalities of that launch day and making sure it goes without a hitch. I mean, we have been known to find a bug at 6 o'clock in the morning from user feedback and fix it by the time America wakes up, which again is a massive gift before you have some of your most influential media and things waking up to see the bug. But it's also about the atmosphere and celebrating it and understanding that that's what all of this effort was for that one moment where you actually get to press go and it's in the hands of all of those users. And so we like to be together and set up a kind of war room or peace room, as we actually now call it, dynamic, so that we get to celebrate that together and take a moment to look back and see what we built. So that's the SwiftKey way, and I'm sure that the ways that you guys have developed are far superior, and I look forward to hearing more about them as we mingle over drinks later. But thank you very much for listening. It's a real pleasure to be here.
The head of mobile of Schibsted Classified Media. One of her main challenges is to help Schibsted marketplaces websites to take the mobile turn. So please welcome Elizabeth Barry.
Thank you. So I'm here to represent Schibsted, which is kind of the old company, 175 years, more or less. And we're the ones that Spock referred to as kind of the not fun, the old ones. But at the same time, Schibsted is a great company. It's a company I've been with for 10 years. And today I want to first tell you a bit about the company, because I assume most of you don't know very much. And then I want to tell you a bit about how we're going to build the next generation of marketplaces. But first, an intro. Mobile marketplaces. First, an intro to Schibsted. Focus on the place where I work, where I'm heading the mobile part, which is the local marketplaces. We have about 33 operations in about 25 countries, and we have around 1,500 employees within this part. And what we do is to make local products for local markets. But what we see is that we need global scale. But still, we believe in local insight. We don't want to be like eBay or Amazon that has one product across the world. We believe how we succeed is also to have some local insight and local presence. And we see that we provide people as solutions to quite a consistent need. To get things solved, people need to connect and make a good deal. Seller meets buyers, host meets guests, and businesses meets clients. However, the need or the expectations to these type of solutions do change. And being a 175-year-old company, this is what we specialize in, to try to transform the company so we don't go bankrupt. And you're familiar with this. Earlier we went to the movies, then we felt liberated when being able to watch a video in our living room. Now, I think for most of us, we would not even bother to go to the video store, even if they still existed. We want to stream or download whenever we want, wherever we are. These same type of change to expectations are also happening to our local marketplace everywhere. So we need to adapt the solutions we're providing. At the same time, our competitive landscape is changing very rapidly. Earlier, our main competitors were more like, for advertising money, were traditional media houses. Now we compete against Facebook and Google. Earlier, our marketplace competitor were just like us, just a different marketplace. Now we compete with social media messaging, specialists within jobs, holiday rentals and cars, as well as app-only products like Wallapop or also Spock. Even though we're in family with Spock, it's still a competitor. And also the big global e-commerce players like Amazon, eBay, Alibaba. So for us, it's a totally new game. The world is completely flat with global giants, but also local small startups. And that's our competitors today and tomorrow. We have successfully moved both users and revenues from print to online, and also done some effort on marketplaces. But now we're building the next generation of marketplaces. And the big difference for us is that they will be predominantly mobile, and instead of focusing on the ads, we will focus on the users. We will still provide a seamless experience from device to device for users who will use us on desktop, laptop, tablet, and phones. But our main effort will be on the last one, on the mobile phone. And then a bit on the tablet, but also providing the seamless experience. But all resources and all focus will be towards mobile. And some marketplaces might even end up as mobile only or app only. So we want to build the best marketplaces in the world, where we really understand the users and the customers and their needs and problems. And how will we do that? We will use our great people, and we want to hire many more people, both in Barcelona, in London, in Oslo, and in Stockholm. We need everyone to work together across countries and across business areas, and we would do heavily investments now, both in data and technology. We think we need to understand our users and really improve our products, and we want to provide them with logged-in ecosystems so they can move freely from device to device and get a personalized experience. But in the end, to sum up, to me this is pretty simple why we're building these new global marketplaces. For me, it's just that we want to make our users happy, very happy. Thank you.
So we're gonna end the first part of this event with this first round of talks, and we're gonna follow with our panel discussion about tips and tricks to get your app a success. So we're gonna change the speakers. So I'm gonna introduce you first to Vanessa, who's changing the slides. She's the other co-founder of Women in Mobile, and she will be our moderator for this panel discussion.
Thank you, Caroline, for your introduction. Today we really have a good team. Yeah, please. We just met Katarina and Ruth. They are all ladies, leading ladies from the mobile industry. And now let me introduce you our panelist, Cristina Bokoglu. Hello. She is the Director of Research of Vision Mobile, the leading research company in the app industry. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Diana Lama. She is the UX manager in Privalia, Spain. Privalia is a Spanish online outlet that has made more sales with their mobile channel than with their online channel. In fact, this past January, they have sold 54% of their sales. They have made the 54% of their sales with their this mobile channel. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Hello.
We know that 20% of the apps that we have downloaded, we have only used them once. And 60% of the apps that we have on our devices are deleted after the first month that we have having them. No? So how do you engage with these mobile users? So these users finally use the app. I mean, they don't delete the app after this 1 month, or at least making them use it more than once. Do you want to start, Sandra?
Well, I think the first point is that the app has to work perfectly. Okay. I think maybe it sounds something very basic, but you know, technology sometimes has problems, and you have to set some features of the app. But so, in our case, for example, the app has to work very, very, very good, and has to be useful for the user. In our case, we are covering a need, and that's why people decide to go in to keep using us. Also, I always say that the app is the point of an iceberg, because what is happening under the app, there are many things that we sometimes we don't appreciate. You book the taxi through the app, but finally the experience you have is inside the taxi. So we are focusing on quality, and I think that maybe my taxi in that case it's an exception.
Yeah, because the experience it's not only on the mobile device.
Exactly, it starts here but finishes in the real world. So in that case, we have to work the two sides of the performance finally.
Okay, and what about in Privalia?
Well, in our case, having a highly mobile-friendly business model was very important, and this means this was based on 4 things. And the first of all was that we've got best brands, we've got the best products, and this generates attractiveness and desire to have the app. And of course, this is very important in order to be willing to download it. The second important thing was that we've got limited stock and limited time, and this generates urgency. And in our case, urgency has been one of the keys, because we are not an app that takes advantage of geolocation and other stuff, but we do take advantage of this urgency, of this need to have the app anywhere you are in order to be able to buy that sneakers you are longing for. The third thing is very important for us is that our business model was also based on push notifications and having new stuff every day. So people have a reason to open the app every day and engage on the new campaigns. And well, of course, this engagement is created naturally. And the fourth thing is the fact that we've also have some kind of purchase autonomy. And this means that our prices are relatively low. We've got very discounted products, and our average order value is about 60 euros. So this is something that you cannot be afraid to pay with your mobile phone. It is not. We are not selling flights, 20,000 or 20,000, so 1,000 euros flight. So you can spend 40 euros or 60 euros on your mobile phone and pay with PayPal or with your card and not be afraid of that. And apart from that, of course, our business model helped a lot, but we've also developed a specific content strategy for mobile. We've created these pre-openings, these pre-sales for mobile customers, so they are the first to buy some products the day before everyone else. And also we create special promotions, run and buy promotions, so people do have a reason to download the app and use it every day.
Okay, this is really interesting because we asked developers how do they measure success in their app business. Again, it depends what they're trying to achieve. So if they're just hobbies who are about 13% of the app economy, they obviously don't care about the money. So they measure success by the fun they have or the knowledge that they gain. And similarly for explorers who are just gaining experience to monetize in the future, again, it's just experience. So it depends how do you define success. It depends on what you're trying to do. What we have seen is that the success metrics that involve strictly revenue definitions, either direct or indirect, are really going down because we have been measuring that over the past 1.5 years. So these are stringing, and success is more and more about reach and about knowledge gain. So this really fits with what Sandra said. So what we're doing is, what they're trying to do is reach out to more customers. And as I said before, that's another sign of apps as a channel era, where you're trying to sell your non-mobile product through an app.
I think we were the first taxi app that appears taxi company that appears, in innovation events, in the fashion weeks events in Barcelona, in Madrid. I think you have to break rules finally and make, it's supposed that that taxi sector is boring, is old-fashioned, it's all these kind of things. By that technology, we have demonstrated that we can change, and we can change, people's mind, making different kinds of actions. And I think it's my taxi. I think in that way is doing very well because, everywhere you go, you are going to see my taxi, I think so.
Can you tell us how can you measure the success of your apps? How do you analyze the app success of your different applications?
Well, I would start by saying that in the case of Free Value, this is totally true. We are not an e-commerce anymore. Actually, we are now an m-commerce because the figures are really high because, 70% of traffic is coming from mobile nowadays, which is a lot. So more people is coming from mobile than on the website. And not only that, the thing is that also 54% of our sales, as Vanessa said before, are coming from mobile. So people do buy from mobile. People buy clothes, people buy shoes, people buy moisturizers, people buy anything, and even furniture. So this is something that is mobile is key for a business. And in terms of measuring the success of our app or not, I would say that it's important to go from the classic metrics, visits and visitors and all this stuff, to a point of view that is more based on the omni-channel customer experience. And that means thinking about the behavior of the user beyond what he does on your app. And that means trying to understand his journey related to the service you are creating with your apps, with your website, with all your channels. And then you can measure frequency, and you can measure all the interactions that may start on your app, on your mobile website, and maybe end up on the phone, by email, or on your website. So it's important to have the full picture in terms of evaluating if your app is succeeding or not.
Well, I think there's place for more apps in the app stores. I think that when you create an app, you have to have clear which add value are giving with this new app, and finally you have to have really clear what you want to target, which your target. And then I think that's key to be part of the app store and to be success, definitely.
That's true, Sandra. I mean, having a good idea, I mean, the idea of an app, it's important, but it's not enough to make an app successful. And also, I mean, having an app that works is also important, but it's also not enough to make this app successful. That's why, I mean, we have here the different insights of our different panelists, the analytics insights, the marketing and promotion, and also the UX and design insights. So we can, we can see the different ingredients that are also important to make this app successful. Well, thank you very much. I mean, you just mentioned, that it's important not to develop games to make this, to make your apps a success. It's important to invest in other kind of categories. So, this is the current situation. What are the trends? The future trends of this. What would you recommend for our future developers, future ideas? Where do you think they should publish these future apps in the different markets?
So.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Well, first of all, it depends what you're trying to do in the app economy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have identified 8 different developer segments depending what they're trying to do. So if your goal is actually to monetize directly from the app economy, so as I said, enterprise is one good tip. Right, yeah. Sorry. It's not that you're not going to go into games, so that's not it. Games are not going anywhere, but it's paid per download, so direct paid models that are shrinking. So you should go for other models, such as if you insist on publishing on app stores, then it should be in-app purchase mostly. And then other models that work are contract work, so do some contract work for enterprises or not, or do e-commerce, as we said. Now, the trend that we see coming up is app becoming the channel rather than the product. So in the early days of the mobile ecosystem, app was the actual product through which you got direct monetization, or people were hoping to get direct monetization because many found out that it's not really the case. The next era is that of app as a channel. So you use the app to promote something that is non-mobile. Okay, so this is, I think, what we see here in many cases. So Spoke is probably kind of like something like that. So platforms to promote something non-mobile.
Design for touch is very important. And I know this might sound obvious, of course, and easy, but it's not. And, well, the thing is that size matters. The second thing I would also say is that for mobile, it's crucial to have one objective per page. Of course, it's important that your user finds the menu in the place where it's supposed to be, and especially when you are working for many platforms at the same time, like as the case in Privalia, we've got native apps for all the platforms. Mm-hmm. It is important that you know when you are designing for an Android app and when you are designing for Windows 8 app.
The businesses that do take the time to invest into listening to their customers and what their problems are, and then solving those problems for them, are really doing better, and they're keeping them engaged.
So well, yeah, there are maybe logic things that we have to follow all these recommendations to improve our app engagement, the user engagement. In Privalia, what did you learn from your user research which made you change the user experience of your app?
Well, actually I have to say that our apps are very well rated on the App Store and on the Play Store. We got 4 stars and a half. So they are good, but of course there's much more to do, and there's a lot of things to improve. And in the recent months, we've discovered a few things that were very related to this content-first concept. And for example, this means that we've been improving our images resolution, like 3 times. Now you can see products better, and we have improved the zoom feature, and that's why, because we don't want we don't want our customers to feel they cannot see products properly on mobile. And we don't want to hear this, I prefer to see this dress on the website because it looks bigger and I can see the details. We want to finish with that. And the second thing we've also worked on is having full product names and full product descriptions for all the products, because it is important that you want to buy a moisturizer that has a lot of features and is working for firmness, and you have to read the details of this moisturizer. And the third thing is we've also discovered that using your card in the middle of the street or in front of strangers and removing it from your wallet and use it is something that is awkward for our customers. So we've improved our feature that lets you save your card details so you don't have to use your card when making a purchase.
Well, there are many kind of promotion techniques that we can recommend. For sure, Google AdWords are many important. Mobile performance, it's really, really important. Make a Google AdWords campaign, make the Facebook AdWords campaign as well. Everything depends for sure where you want, which target you want to reach. In our case, for example, we are really focused on business targets. So in that case, we are trying to move around where is our target. For example, LinkedIn for us, it's a really important network to find our target. Otherwise, I think it's important to combine mobile performance with traditional promotions, finally. For example, our taxis, not all, but some of them, when you go in, they give you a water of bottle. It seems something very simple, but it helps to engage users and also to get the app known. You have a QR code, you have a discount, you have everything you need to use the service. It works very, very, very well, and we are so proud of this. Also, because finally, we have to to bring people from the offline world to the mobile world. Why not to make a billboard campaign? Or, for example, now we have ongoing, and I think it's a really smart campaign in AVE, because during these days there's many people who is traveling between Madrid and Barcelona, and we want to impact them. So AVE is the best place for us, because when you leave the train, you need a taxi, and you have to move around the city. So I think, because sometimes I think we depreciate traditional advertising, and I think that everything helps to gain more visibility, to get more users, to make engaging to the users, and finally to make branding. That it's very, very important.